Happy Friday, everyone. Erica here of thefeelgoodshift.com. Today, this is actually a question that came from Kelly, and I think it's a great one that I wanted to definitely take the time out to answer. So Kelly basically was wondering, what do you do with psychic readings and, anyone that's kind of predicting the future for you and all this other stuff? And obviously, this is something that I do for my clients. And the disclaimer is that even though you are getting a reading from someone, it doesn't take away your willpower. So let's say someone is telling you, like, what I see for you right now is blah, 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 and they're able to pick up on something that is very specific to you. That's great because there are a lot of people that have foresight and they can see what could happen. But there's so much variable in the universe. And what I always tell people is, like, I'm seeing from this particular point in time what's possible for you. And that can shift in an instant. Meaning, if I give a reading to a person today and I give the reading to the person next week, it might be different. Like, I have to be completely honest about this because I think that there's a lot of misinformation and lack of information around this. And I can tell you from my perspective how it usually works. So, and how it's worked for me getting readings. So not only giving the readings, but also receiving them because I love this stuff. And I believe that the universe has a wonderful way of helping you out. And if you're seeking answers, you will receive them. However, you are not to give away your personal power to a person that is predicting the future for you. Because the number one thing for you to do is to always ground in your power. So there's always like that little flip-flop that's going to happen between what they tell you is possible for you and what you're willing to accept. Because there's a lot of things that are not going to be in alignment. And there's a lot of things that if you shift, let's say they give you the reading and you're here, by you getting the reading, it changes your awareness and it could change the outcome of what that reading was giving you at that particular point in time. The other thing is they're giving you a possibility in a universe of infinite possibilities. So you're getting the reading in this place, right? And outside of that, this is probably the possibility that is closest to you. Outside of that, there are infinite ways in which your life can play out. What I have seen is as long as the person stays consistent, that usually is the outcome that tends to happen. And everything can shift in an instant and everything can happen so quickly. So when you're getting readings, really be open-minded and open-hearted about it, that not everything is written in stone, that things can shift in an instant, that what you're receiving right now could change. And does it feel good to you? Does it feel like it's true in resonance? Does it feel like it's something that you're willing to allow into your experience? Because that's going to be really key. As you are going into, your medium, whoever they may be, and they're giving you answers, you are not to make them the end-all, be-all of your experience. So they might give you some answers to whatever it is that you're going through at any particular time. That doesn't mean that they have full control of what's going to happen, or that the only way that you're going to know the future is by going to get a psychic reading or getting someone to foretell what could or couldn't happen. And people make mistakes, and people could see something that may have been a possibility, but now because you have a different awareness, because your consciousness have changed, because maybe you've gotten some energy healing work, the possibilities now shift and you're able to do something else. Kelly, this is for you. Thanks so much for joining. So really getting in there and knowing that you have to hold on to your personal power. You totally have to hang on to your personal power. Like, they're going to come in and tell you a lot of things, and they give you a lot of insight about things. But it's up to you whether or not you want to accept it. It's completely up to you if you want to, like, put that into your consciousness and be willing to take that in to then make it manifest. Because the only way that something they tell you would come true is if it's fully accepted by you. And in that same deal, if someone tells you something and you're like, heck no, that's not going to happen because I am going to exercise my willpower and reject this idea completely, and I'm going to be the creator of my experience, and I'm going to shift this out, and I'm going to create something else, you have that power. So when I'm giving readings to my clients, I always tell them, you always have free will. Like, this is what I'm seeing for you at this particular moment in time. You can make one decision that is going to shift your perspective, that is going to change your frequency, that is going to shift your mindset and your spiritual grounding. And now you're open to a whole other set of possibilities that I couldn't have picked up before that moment. So energy is constantly in motion. And when someone gives you a reading, they're giving you a reading based on where you are at that particular time. Because you're constantly energy in motion, you might be a completely different person in another week. And you're getting a reading and it might be a completely different thing. So there's a lot of, right now, there used to be a lot of information and hype around psychic readings, someone able to see the future. Same thing with someone that is giving a reading from the past, because this has become like the whole other angle. It's like, in decades prior, we all wanted to know like what was going to happen. Now there's this fascination of what has happened in previous lives and all this other stuff. And I always tell people, anything that is taken away from your power in the present moment has to be questioned. Like, you have to really think and feel into it. Like, if you're getting a reading and it's feeling like now you're stressing more over the outcome, or you're overly excited over something that hasn't happened, we need to check in with ourselves, because then there's a piece of us that needs that external validation, that it might be feeling a little void of something else within ourselves. So there is no wrong or right way of going about it. The main thing is, when you're listening to things, really making sure that you understand that it's given to you from a very specific point in time. At that like precise moment, this is what's possible for you. And you might get a reading from someone else and they might have a similar reading, but it might be a different outcome or something along those lines. Because I want you to think, like, people who are reading the future, it's an energetic reading more than it is a foretelling, if that makes any sense. If that makes sense, let me know. If it doesn't make sense, that's okay. But I just kind of want to give you the angle and letting you know that a reading is a possibility. It's what could happen. They could pick up on something that's happening within this present moment, which is great because it definitely validates like the insight that they're giving you. But what they're telling you, it's a possibility. It's like what's immediately what they're picking up from that angle. And I want you to think of parallel universes. So if you get a reading from one person and they're telling you one outcome, if you get a reading and they're telling you kind of like a slightly different outcome, but it's along the same lines, is because that's what's in your field. So you can accept it or reject it, but it's always going to be entirely up to you to accept the reading or not. Just make sure that you're not giving away your power. And the only way that you find comfort in anything in life is by getting someone else to tell you what's going to happen. Because our power is in the present moment. And our need to constantly know what's going to happen actually creates a lot of stress and anxiety within ourselves, within our bodies, within our minds, because now we're either expecting that to happen, which is usually why something happens, by the way, or we are worrying about something because it may have been a not so positive reading, and now we're constantly worrying and stressing, which is, again, probably the reason why something happens anyways. I'm a big fan of the Matrix movies. If you've seen the first one and you see the, I forget her name. The psychic woman that's in the movie. Wow, I can't believe I just forgot that. But she tells Neo basically that the thing that's going to boggle his mind is whether or not he would have done it if she hadn't said anything. And that's exactly it. Like, that's the secret to any psychic reading. It's going to be like, they're going to tell you something. If you allow it, if it sounds like, yes, I want this into my experience or whatever it may be, then you go forward. And you actually create that for yourself by thinking about it, by saying like, yes, that would be awesome to have that. Or to being like, yeah, I don't know that that's something that I want to like really live or experience, or whatever the case may be, or worrying about it because something negative is about to happen in your life. And now because you're worrying and thinking about it so much, now you're making it happen. Like, I want you to always think you are the co-creator of your experience. It's going to be entirely up to you how your life plays out. And then only divine intervention is going to come in and shift you into the right place that you need to go into. So do not give away your personal power. No matter who's giving you the reading, they're coming into it with a bunch of love and light and good intentions. You are still the master of your experience. You are still the captain of your ship. You are still in control of what's going to happen or not happen. Like, the more empowered that you are about understanding that your life is yours and that no one else can live it for you, and can no one give you a straight answer as to what's going to happen in your life, because energy is constantly in motion and your intentions are going to set the tone for what does happen. Whether you're thinking positively about the reading and a positive outcome happen, or negatively around the reading and a negative outcome happens, I want you to think that you are making it all play out. And maybe they just give you a little nudge towards a direction that is most beneficial for you, hopefully. And if it's not a positive reading, then knowing that life is going to happen anyways, and that there's a lot of things that we can't control, and that surrendering into the flow is really what we're going into. Setting strong intentions as to what we want to create into our lives, and knowing that, there's a bigger, story at play that we are playing into. So I hope this is helpful. There's a lot of conversation that we can totally have about this, but ultimately you are the powerhouse. You are the person that is taking charge and creating the magnificent life that you are choosing to create. No one else can take that away from you. No one else can tell you otherwise. So I hope that you're choosing the empowered route, and that you are choosing to own your own destiny. No matter what anyone tells you, no matter what point of reference they're using, no matter how powerful of a psychic they are, it's a reference point. And you still have full control of your experience, and you still co-create, and you're still, living a life full of your desires, and just really honing in and getting clear as to what those desires are so that you can have them manifest outwardly. All right? This is my little rant for today. I hope this helps. If you have questions, remember you can email me, Erica, ERIKA, @thefeelgoodshift.com. You can message me privately here. You can join my Facebook group, Manifesting Powerhouses. The link is with this video. Join us there. We're going to start a group program very, very soon. It'll be discounted in the group. So it's going to be amazing, and I'm really excited about it. So I hope this is helpful. I'm sending you big love, tons of blessings. Know that you are a magnificent being. And just being in this experience, it's an amazing journey. So own it and know that you have the power to create the life of your dreams. Okay? Sending you love, blessings. Ciao for now. Erica of thefeelgoodshift.com. Thanks.